What's going on, everybody? My name is Johnny Bottles, and welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast for a Monday. To my left, we have Dancing Don Wayne, the Neckbeard's friend. Down below, down below, we have the head of the SCM chapter of the the Twitterverse, the X-verse, if you will, if you want to call it X, the magnificent Motorhead 711, the Grand Poobah of the SCM. We're here today to do a truncated show, a little half-hour show, about a little thing called Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel.
Oh, it's Monday. It's Monday. Good God, is it Monday?
I got my new teeth in. Sorry, folks. Crown Jewel. It's a WWE premium live event that happened on Saturday at 1 p.m. this past Saturday over in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We're going to talk about that right now. We're going to chop it up. Let's do it. Dom, what do you got first?
Well, they had the I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch this. I fast forward as fast. I couldn't get through it fast enough. I did not watch the pre-show match. Did you happen to catch that?
Yes, I did.
Madonna and Sami Zayn. I had no interest in it. If it's not important enough to put it on the main show, it's not important enough for me to watch it. That's how I see it.
Two takeaways from that opening match. If you didn't see it, folks, you really didn't miss anything. J.D. McDonough, the little Funko Pop kid who once he's a Judgment Day wannabe, he sold his ass off for Sami Zayn. And there was a move where Sami, I believe, dropped him across the top ropes, and J.D. McDonough had a mat rash, this huge abrasion, about this big on his lower right abdomen. And it really looked like it was a nasty, nasty fall, a nasty, nasty wound. And I thought that was it. I said they're going to have to go to a pin right away. But no, they finished the match out. They went for, whatever piece of business they had remaining in the match, and they didn't finish, where he did the job.
That was talked about on a lot of different websites. Bleacher talked about it. All the people that covered the match talked about it. I missed it, but they were talking about it looked bad because he didn't get flipped all the way and just ate it. It looked like it hurt like hell. So thank God he walked away, man. I hope it's nothing serious. Probably just beat up a little bit.
It looked like
dude, it ain't ballet, as they say. Shit happens in that ring.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was as red as Motor's hat. That's how red it was on his abdomen.
Red bastard.
That's
bad news.
Right there.
Bad news.
Bad.
Well, I'm just glad he's all right. The first big match was Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. I like where they're going with Drew. Here's my thing, man. I'm over Seth Rollins. I'm over it. I'm over it. My wife loves his entrance. She's big on the entrance. I'm not big on it. It's kind of run its course with me. I don't know. He's still over. I can't deny that. He's still over. He's still getting huge.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting pops. And he won.
It's the song, Don. It's the song.
It's the song. I agree.
They love singing along with the song.
They had a great opening video package for both of them. Mm-hmm. It was tremendous. That was really good. There was nothing wrong with the match. I'll give Seth Rollins this much. The guy cares about his ring attire. My man is always dressed for a show. Like, his ring attire is real, dude. You can say whatever you want about him. That guy is a professional to a T. Like, he dots his I's and crosses his T's on his gear. He looks the part of a superstar. He looks sharp.
Like the Batman villain, the Joker, on a bad LSD trip. That's what he looks like. He's got that cackle. And I just, when he first debuted it, Motorhead, that whole gimmick with the crazy outfit and that freaking laugh of his. And they had him come out for WrestleMania when it was in Hollywood. He was doing that Joker dance to Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter down the steps. It's just which was one from the movie The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. I was over it then. I said, this is enough. Can we start after WrestleMania with just coming out of Seth Rollins? But no. The online sentiment, Motorhead, I will say the online sentiment, and you have your finger in the groin, in the carotid artery of Twitter. You know exactly what takes place on Twitter at all times. You know the online sentiment is a lot of people want to see him lose that belt right now. They're tired of his act. They're tired of the bullshit. The song is over, but he's slowly not being over because of the sameness of everything. Hell of a worker. The match was fantastic. The video packages, like Don said, were fantastic. It explains Drew McIntyre's motivation for what he's doing now and being a tweener and all that. What do you think, Motor?
During the entire match, Seth Rollins, like Don had said too, he is definitely over. I never really did get into him too much, like a lot of fans have. Mm-hmm. And throughout this match, I must say, I never thought once that McIntyre was actually going to win.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem. And that's the problem, is that there is no excitement about it because you already know the outcome for the most part. And there was a part in this match that got me nervous. And look, man, I'm all for pro wrestlers being pro wrestlers, but they got to stop the belly-to-belly, flip you over suplex, man, because he barely got him over on one of those things. It looked like he could have landed right on his head.
It could have been a career ender.
Yeah, they've got to stop that move. There's no need for that move. It's got no business in it. You can do a simple spin over, belly-to-belly slam, and it looks just as effective. There's no need for them to be doing that move anymore. I don't like it, and I wish they would stop.
That's the move. That's the move, by the way, if I could throw this in. That move is what ended the career of Big E. Big E said in an interview he doesn't think he's coming back.
He's not. He'd be a damn fool to. Take the money, sit at home, find another career.
They could use him as a commentator. I mean, you know what he does now? When they do those next in line tryouts and talent scouts for the next in line program with NXT, he goes out with them, with the NXT trainers. He goes out with those guys and throws his input in. I mean, he's been around a long time in the system, and the guy's still jacked. I mean, he could be the manager for the New Day. He could just be the mouthpiece. He wouldn't have to take a bump.
Though? Like, that's the whole thing with him, man, is he spent so much time of his career being the goofball that it's hard for me to take him seriously now as a big badass. Like, you can't be the goofball for 10 years and then suddenly expect me to think you're Johnny Badass. It just doesn't work that way, man. It never has and it never will.
And Motor, it doesn't have to be a over-the-head, belly-to-belly suplex to really put him in a wheelchair. All he's got to do is someone dives over the top rope, and he can't get his arms up in time to catch the guy. He hits him in his head. He's done. It's over.
Lights out, pal. The best part of the match was fine. It was graded like an A on a lot of accounts. I can't take away the fact they had a good match. They did. It was great. I wasn't into it because I'm not big into Seth right now. What they're doing with Drew, I'm enjoying. The backstage interaction with help me out here, because Ripley was amazing. She just shook her head like, I told you should join us. And the best part of this was that they had what's his name? Help me out. Damian Priest runs down to cash it in. And it's always that drama. It's always the drama with the cash in. And
came down with a referee and Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn out of nowhere snatches the briefcase and takes off. So that was cool. I like that because I did not see that coming.
Nope.
That got my attention. I was like, hey, we got a little something here, right? We got a little something. So how do you cash in your briefcase if you don't have it? So that you can see that's setting up something at Survivor Series here in a few weeks. It feels like it's going to be faction on faction.
For that matter,
say what?
For that matter, can Sami Zayn cash in that briefcase? Because he's got it in his possession.
That's what I was wondering. Like, that would be a new little trick spot. Because God knows, I mean, thievery is allowed now in WWE, I guess. I don't know. The next match, of course.
It's no more than AEW with that championship belt.
Don't get me started. Dude's walking around with the other guy's belt for like 3 damn weeks now. Nobody's saying shit. There's no GM to say, hey, give him his belt back. So ridiculous, man. That's another story. Next match was, of course.
Well, hang on a second. I want to say one more thing. I actually thought during this match, McIntyre, I bet you he signed a new contract and they're going to give him the belt. They're not going to change hands with Roman. I thought they're not going to put the belt on LA Knight. Roman is going to stay champ until WrestleMania of next year. So why not give them a men's championship title change, with Drew taking it off of Rollins. and having Drew getting pissed off and turn into a full bloat heel and beat the hell out of Rollins and take it. But then I'm thinking to myself, what if Rollins barely survives and Drew beats him down and walks away? And then Priest comes out and tries to cash in. That's what they should have done, I think. They should have had Drew just beat the man down, beat the piss out of him, so he couldn't get up. And
there we go.
Have Damian Priest come down and cash in on him.
I mean, that's the question, because I think we're going to see some old school Survivor Series matches. I think you're going to see some 4-on-4 stuff. And it feels like the Judgment Day is going to have that fourth guy in Drew McIntyre. And Sega's talking about it now. And that's where you finally see him snap and just go full heel at Survivor Series when he's on the Judgment Day's team. Like heading into it, he finally snaps on like Monday Night Raw, and that's it. He's coming in. Because you would have, who would you have? The JD McDonough. You'd have Damian Priest. You'd have
Balor.
Well, do you have Balor?
You would have Balor. You would have Mysterio. Why is it going to be 4-on-4? Why can't it be 5-on-5?
Well, that's the classic format, is that 4-on-4. Or was it 5-on-5 back in the day? I can't remember. They changed it up so many times. I'd have to go
They
back
do
and look.
change
Either
up
way,
a lot.
Either way, you know how I feel about Finn Balor in this faction. He's the odd man in to me. I got
the same way I
for him.
feel. The same way
I got nothing for him. I'd much rather see him replace him with Drew. That's enough of that. We've spent way too much damn time on this match as it is. My God, wasn't that good?
There was a lot to unpack, though. A lot of storyline to unpack.
They had a lot of happy horse shit after the match. That was a lot to carry on.
Is horse shit happy? Go ahead.
Sometimes it is.
Yes.
The next match was the women's championship, the women's world title with Rhea Ripley and just 4 other girls. This match had no business being this good. I was impressed with everything. Everybody did their spots. It flowed. It didn't stop. They get their spots right. Here's a move. Here's a move. It was action-packed. I loved everything about this. This is one of the better women's matches I've seen all year, and the finish was absolutely tremendous. Rhea Ripley hitting her move at the end of the match on 3 girls in the ring, and then rolling the 2 off of her and getting the one on the bottom. That was great shit, man.
You had 4 premium workers in that match, and Nia Jax.
And Nia Jax. But Nia Jax did her thing. She didn't embarrass herself.
She didn't. She worked like a female Andre the Giant, basically, in that match. Where she little movement, hardly any. She was basically the immovable object in this thing. That's what she was.
It started off well with them looking. She looked like they were all going to jump her, and she rolled her ass out like, no. Yep. We're not doing that. We're all 4 of you jump my ass. Motor, I told you, go back and be sure you watch this. What'd you think?
Oh, man, I'm glad I did, because to me, that's definitely one of the top highlights of the entire event. And just like you said, the sequences, everything to me was perfect. And it was a surprise, because you know how I feel about a lot of the women's matches. But this one was
that's why I said go watch it, because I knew you'd like it.
It was wonderful. It, like definitely for me also one of the best female matches I've seen all year long. And the more I see Rhea Ripley do that riptide thing, I just love that damn thing, man. And she's such a superstar, and it's great to have her now doing what she's doing. And but kudos to everybody in that match, because I was glued to my seat from start to finish. That was like, if I were to give it an A, I'd definitely get an A, maybe even an A+. Excellent
Motorhead.
match.
Motor.
Yes?
Were you sports entertained?
I was so sports entertained, man. Yes, very to the max. To the max.
I find it amazing that Shayna Baszler ate the pin, but that match did more for Shayna Baszler than her entire career so far in WWE. It was amazing. I mean, she got elevated. It did a hell of a lot for Zoe Stark. You see her in a whole new light.
Yeah,
you could tell she was hurting in a couple of moves, but she was fantastic. Even Nia Jax, you even thought a little bit better.
Yeah,
a little bit better about Nia Jax.
Didn't embarrass herself. That's the best thing you could say.
Did not embarrass herself.
She didn't land on anybody's face, and she didn't have to scream, "Oh my hole." So that didn't happen. I was happy with that.
Oh, forgot about that until you brought it back.
You son of a bitch!
Oh my hole! Did you just do? Wallace just did a
almost.
Oh, that's
you almost made me spit out my chocolate lava cake beer. You son of a bitch!
That's great. Oh, on to the next match, which this match is exactly
dirty dog.
This match is exactly what I thought it was going to be. John Cena and Solo Sikoa. But it didn't end the way I thought it was. You knew Cena was not going to take any crazy bumps. You knew that wasn't going to happen. It was going to be a ground and pound headlock maneuver. What a maneuver, pal! It wasn't going to be anything crazy. You weren't going to see him take any kind of insane suplex. He was going to keep his ass on that mat. The part that sort of got my attention was he didn't just lose. He put over Solo Sikoa big time.
Yeah,
I mean, he took like, what, 5 thumbs to the neck?
15, they say online. 15 thumbs to the neck.
Was,
not consecutively altogether, but he took 15 thumbs to the neck. I will say that John Cena had a reputation when he was coming up as a young man in WWE as burying the other talent. Because he was the guy, he was the chosen one, and he was burying the other guys. And here's an example. Chad Gable, when he debuted as part of American Alpha, with the kid that was supposedly Kurt Angle's son.
Yeah, I remember you talking about.
I forgot his name. He's now an agent backstage because he had a bad neck injury.
Yeah, he's a kid that broke his neck too.
Exactly. So Gable would come out like he did at NXT when he was a solo with a rag, with a towel, much like the one I had to wipe my face off with, like this, that said Ready, Willing, and Gable on it. He did that one time in WWE, and Cena got him right away.
Jordan kid.
Yep, there it is.
Jason Jordan was his name. Jason, thank you, Sega Genesis.
Thank you, sir.
Jason Jordan and Chad Gable were a team called American Alpha in NXT. They brought him up to the main roster. And back in NXT, he would come out with a towel that said Ready, Willing, and Gable. Right away, after the first time he did it on the main roster, Cena says, that's my gimmick. We don't do that. You're not taking my gimmick. You're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the last time you saw that towel. He said, yes, Mr. Cena, I'm sorry. No problem there. And you know what happened to Chad Gable? He was a little bit buried in the WWE roster, especially when Jordan got hurt and was gone. They didn't know what to do with Gable. So he spent a lot of time in catering. And he always did the JOB. He was even known as Shorty G for a while because Vince would laugh at him. But now,
either way,
beast. But anyway,
Cena did the job.
Cena did the job. Cena's now on his tour of where he's putting people over. He's trying to elevate guys like LA Knight, like Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is not a high flyer. He never was. He was always a brute, especially with all the weight he's gained. I mean, if you saw him in NXT, he's gained quite a few LBs since his days in NXT, where he was billed as a street fighter. But he was a face down there. Now he's a heel here. But I think that kid did Motorhead. That kid did a famous job of working with Cena, even though at the end you can see Cena saying, do it again. Do it again.
Yeah.
You saw Cena hollering directions at the end of the match.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, I saw it.
He's always done that to all his opponents. He's so excited. He's like yelling. And
I thought it was good for what it was. I knew what it was going to be. I was big on the entrance. It was a little bit, I mean, it's hard to believe this now, but.
Do you think that's it? You think he's retired?
What's
up, Chris? There's Chris.
The nostalgia is what really got me with his entrance. And it's hard to say now with Cena that it's nostalgia, but he's been gone now as a full-time performer for a long time, for several years now. So it's winding down like The Rock was, and you know you're not going to see him that many more times in the ring. So I liked it.
Yeah.
And
how many more has he got, Don? How many more appearances does he have on the docket?
I think he's got at least 3 more WrestleManias.
No. I mean, on this run right now, in consecutive appearances, he had like 9 or 10.
Well, they're still on strike, so I don't know. I mean, it's going to carry through Survivor Series at least now.
Mm-hmm.
At least through Survivor Series. I don't think you'll see him on the December PLE, but you might see him at Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take them a while to get the scripts up and get the sets right.
Hollywood takes... Motorhead, is he slated for Survivor Series?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think he's coming. Yeah.
He's probably going to be one of Cody's guys, maybe.
Yeah,
I would imagine so, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, suppose the rumor is the male the men's Survivor Series War Games match is going to be Judgment Day versus a team handpicked by Cody Rhodes. You know it's going to have Jey Uso in there. And, because there's no Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is done until the Royal Rumble. So,
yeah.
Solo got revenge for Umaga. You know what Solo Sikoa's shoot middle name is?
Umaga.
Shoot.
No,
it's
Yokozuna's
name.
Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
That's his shoot middle name.
What's his name? Roddy? Shit, it doesn't matter. Anyway, on to the next match. This one was the one I said, if there's going to be a title change, this is going to be the match. Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul.
You knew this was happening.
It had to, man. At least one title had to change hands on this damn thing.
Guys, we even talked about this. We even talked about in the last, not the last video we did, but the video before that, the general video, we talked about Mysterio, like Logan Paul is going to win the U.S. title.
Yeah.
And he did.
And he did.
And it looked good. And Larry, we're going to get to Logan saving his ass in that match. I'm going to get there. But first we had the Miz TV. We had that whole thing happen. It was sports entertainment. I'm not going to dwell on the Miz and that whole segment. It was what it was. The part of this that got me was the match that they had was good, but it wasn't great. And I always expect Rey to have a great match. Yeah. They didn't really mesh all that great in this match. And the spot Larry is talking about is where Rey came off that second rope. And thank God Logan Paul is athletic as hell and as strong as he is, because he had to come running forward to catch Rey in midair to save that spot. Otherwise, Rey's got a good chance of letting it square on his head. You can tell he didn't get a spring off of that at all.
He slid on his knees. Where Logan Paul did to catch Rey Mysterio. Now you don't know whether Rey didn't have the oomph in his leap anymore, or Logan Paul was out of position because he's a rookie. You really didn't know that.
Well, here's my caveat. But
I thought. Hang on a second. I thought Rey Mysterio was off a step the entire match.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I thought that's what was happening.
Logan Paul was moving at 45 RPMs, and Rey was moving at 33 and a third RPMs. Yes, sir. That's exactly if you're familiar with albums and 45s.
And here's what got. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still hear me?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what got me about this. Why I think it was Rey. When he went to the ropes, he knew where Logan Paul was in the middle of that ring. He knew where he was and how far he was going to have to go.
Sure.
It looked like he slipped on those ropes or he didn't get a full kick off of it because that rotation was not enough for him to get that.
Well, let me tell you this. Let me say this, Motorhead. And you know these guys come out all oiled up with baby oil. They have spray bottles of baby oil backstage in the locker rooms. And these guys get oiled up to show off the definition of their muscles. And a lot of times when they're out there wrestling with the sweat and the oil, it rubs off, drips down when they're sweating, onto the ring, onto the ropes, because they hit the ropes, and there's transfer involved. And you see a lot of people sometimes climb up on the top turnbuckle and they slip a little bit because somebody had their back or their neck up there, and they're just sweating profusely, and that is drenching everything. I think what they should do, Logan watches a lot of Hangman Page matches. He does.
He does. But
he's got that buckshot. There you go, that buckshot Larry.
He does. He does Hangman Page's moves better than Hangman Page.
Absolutely.
That's what he is. Absolutely. He's a bigger, faster, badder version of what Hangman Page was supposed to be.
And he has cooler pants than Hangman Page as well.
He does have much cooler gear.
He does. Now that he's got that belt, fellas, will you see him more on TV?
Oh, you're going to see him push now for sure. You're going to see him on a lot more leading. I think Royal Rumble, he might drop it, but you know where it's going. It's going to be Rey Mysterio's, understudy is going to be the one that takes it from him.
Absolutely. And the seed was planted with what I didn't like in this whole thing was it's a Logan Paul match again where a guy who is a member of Logan Paul's entourage appears out of nowhere.
Yeah.
With brass knuckles trying to slip them to Logan Paul. I don't even know where he came from. Over the rail? Underneath the ring? I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't know where they came from.
It's an old parlor trick. The heels got to win by Dirty Deed. Like we know that. Yeah. Like they're big on that to the end. The heel, the baby face has got to have a bitch for why he lost. Like it's old school booking in that sense. But it doesn't have to be a guy. It can be anything. He had him in his trunks. What happened to that? What happened to there's a foreign object in his trunks, folks. We don't know what it is. Wham, down goes Rey Mysterio.
Unfortunately, yeah, that was always a good one to hide it in the trunks.
Santos had the brass knuckles when he chased after Jason.
I know, and that's what made it so bad.
He threw him on the edge of Logan Paul grabbed him.
Yeah.
But then Logan Paul, after he hit Rey Mysterio with the brass
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Go ahead.
He goes over after the match and he's got it. He's like, he gives him a hand. He's trying to shake his hand. The heel is being such a shithead. He's like, hey, man, great match. And you can hear Ray, you know what you did. I didn't do anything. What are you talking about? You know what you did.
He kept saying, I love you, Ray. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you,
Ray. I love you.
What a shit heel, man. It was great. It was great. Larry, we're talking about it too, buddy. The nonstop interaction with somebody running in, it got out of control. Yeah. I mean, it just didn't stop, man.
4 to 5 interferences on the show, is that what Larry said? That's probably 20 less than what's in the average episode of AEW Dynamite.
That's true. There's no denying that.
That's very true.
So I'm looking forward to seeing.
So,
real
fuck
quick,
that.
Answer this question for me.
Go. What's that?
Logan Paul, as far as his where he's at right now in his career, onwards and upwards, or you think he's stagnated now as far as his ability? I think he's going to move to the moon, you guys, if you know what I mean. As far as how he acts in the ring, I mean, he doesn't seem like a guy that just picked this shit up a couple of years ago is my point.
He's worth $5 million right now. Mm-hmm. That's in real estate and stocks and money.
I think he's worth more than that. I think he's worth a lot more.
You think so?
His YouTube channel and all his shit, he's worth a lot more than that.
Well,
he's got millions upon millions of followers. He is worth, if I would look it up now if I had the time, but I would bet he's got to be close to 100 million.
Well, does he want to go and do shoot boxing matches, or does he want to do worked wrestling
so
matches?
Here's the thing. Well,
what's better for his health?
I
would say the worked wrestling matches.
But he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's doing this for his content, right? He's never going to be a full-time wrestler. This is going to be a part-time wrestler, a part-time champion. He's going to be a special attraction a lot in the ways that Brock Lesnar is. He's bringing in a much younger audience.
Yes, that's the main thing.
His fans are not wrestling people for the most part. That much I can tell you. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I want to see where it goes. I don't know if we'll ever get a Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul match. I hope the hell we don't.
He's calling for that.
Idea.
He's calling for that, dude.
I don't want that. I do not want that. No. Please. If I never see Bad Bunny on a wrestling program again, it'll be too soon. I don't need it. On to the next match that, quite frankly, did nothing for me. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair.
A snooze-a-rama. A snooze-a-rama.
Oh.
It just...
Yeah. Io Sky, I think she has a hard time communicating with the wrestlers in the ring. And let me say this, guys.
That's a good point.
Let me say this. When you're in a wrestling match, can the other wrestlers stop going like this? Like, get up, come on, run towards me. Can they stop doing that? Just run over and kick the shit out of whoever's laying down or one knee. It's a match you're trying to win. You want to beat the hell out of the other person and pin them and win. Blackjack Mulligan never went, come on, run towards me. Great to have a Valentine. Right.
Go beat the hell out of them.
Now I put my fingers in the camera and now I got blurry.
I'm not
getting blurry.
Too big.
Everything's
Carrie
so
Zane
blurry.
Was the big thing.
What was that, puddle of mud?
She came back. Carrie Zane showed up, and everybody went crazy over that.
Who?
Who? Carrie Zane. What is her name?
I don't even know. Kyrie Sane.
Watch them, dude. This had Kyrie Sane. This has nothing. This was nothing for me.
I don't know who it was.
This was -5 on my scale of shit I cared about.
She was in the WWE before. She was in a tag team with Asuka.
Oh,
that's how you know. I can't even say her name. I couldn't pick her out of a lineup.
Kyrie Sane is famous for that jumping elbow off the top rope that she does, and she did this in the match.
That broke her collarbone. Is that the one that broke her collarbone doing that?
Oh no. She's the one. She's the one that got a concussion from Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair picked her up and swung her into the barricade like a pendulum and whacked her head. And she couldn't get up. And Asuka ran over. This isn't like a 5-way, 4-way women's match. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane said in Japanese, Sis, I'm hurt. I can't see. And Charlotte Flair picked her up, the body slammer. And Becky Lynch grabbed...
I can't see, bitch. Oh, yeah.
She's saying it in Japanese to Asuka. Meanwhile, Charlotte runs over and grabs her and body slams her, and Becky Lynch grabbed her and dragged her underneath the ring.
That's great.
To keep her away from Charlotte, and she went on the side and told Charlotte she's freaking hurt.
That's great. I had no idea.
And Asuka said,
I don't care about this. I don't care.
And she threw a ninja star at Charlotte Flair.
I swear I don't care about any of it. I don't care about Sky. It doesn't impress me.
Snoozer match.
Bailey's lost her luster with me. Bianca Belair I do like.
What?
Bianca Belair I like, but it's just Lord have mercy, dude. I was just glad this damn thing was over. On to something.
I was just waiting. I was waiting for Kairi Sane's debut and how they were going to do it. She looked like $1 million. She looked like a star. A lot of people didn't know who the hell she was. But the problem was, over in Saudi Arabia, they don't value their women at all. So the women are second-class citizens over there. A lot of times, third-class citizens behind the goats. So,
well, that's true. We're not going into the goat spiel.
No, no man-goat love here.
No. The next match was Damian Priest and Cody Rhodes. And look, Damian Priest is a great wrestler. I think this was a good match for what it was. I wasn't overly in love with it. You knew Cody Rhodes was going to win.
For a 41-year-old man, he acquitted himself well.
That was going to be my point. You knew he was going to win.
It was what it was. I don't want to dwell on it. The next one, though, was the next match. Okay, not going to lie. LA Knight has not particularly impressed me with his in-ring skills for the most part. I have not been overly impressed. Roman Reigns and LA Knight put on a good show. They put on a good match.
Yeah,
right.
I was thoroughly sports entertained throughout this contest.
Mm-hmm.
I really was. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do now. From here. Like, where do you go with LA Knight?
I don't know where you're going to go from here with LA Knight. After losing to Roman, I don't know where you go.
I'll tell you exactly where you go. You go with a Jimmy Uso feud because Jimmy Uso cost him the match.
Well, that's where it's going to go, but
that's where it's going to go.
It's a huge step down, man. That's the only way you can see this is a huge step down.
He's still in the mix with the bloodline. He's still in the mix with Roman Reigns somehow through that. Royal Rumble, if Roman Reigns is in the Royal Rumble, he will target Roman Reigns. It's the longest LA Knight match that he's had since he's been with the company.
I was going to say,
was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I watched the whole show. Like I said, I in the back of my mind, you just knew, or at least I knew, there's no way they're giving this title to LA Knight.
Right.
You knew that. You knew that. But I had hopes. I had hopes.
No way. Yeah.
I thought it would have been a nice surprise if they would have done something where LA Knight had him pinned. At the last minute, Jimmy threw Roman's foot over the bottom rope. The ref counted the 3. LA Knight's the new champ. Blah, 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 blah. A lot of gaga involved. He ran out of the ring with the belt, posed out in the crowd, celebrated. And then they would have had the next night on SmackDown, the next SmackDown episode, they would have had it rescinded. And the belt would have given back to Roman Reigns. They could have done that also. However,
Dusty, that's an old school Dusty finish.
Yes, sir.
We haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Yes, sir.
Right,
they could have.
But we would. Right. Yeah, I mean,
I'm telling you right now,
take the heat.
You and me and you could book this shit.
100% we could. Yes, sir.
Yes, we could.
I would absolutely like to have seen an old school Dusty finish. We had way too much interference. I'll give the show a solid B. I thought it was good for what it was.
Good grade. Yeah.
I'd go low with the B, wouldn't you, Motor?
Yes, sir. B.
Yeah.
I'm right there in the B range, definitely.
Yeah.
The highlight of the night for me was the women's match, and I can't believe I'm saying that. That was the highlight of the night.
I love that.
That one, John, and I can't believe I'm saying it either. But out of that whole thing, that's the one that resonates the most in my brain is that women's match. So, agree with you there, buddy.
The last thing I want to talk about before we leave is the fact that Dave Meltzer has discontinued the print version of the Wrestling Observer newsletter as of, I believe, the end of December.
Good for him.
It's done.
Good. It's done.
Subscriptions are probably way down. Subscriptions have probably crashed because of all the bullshit. He's never right. He's always wrong. And Yeah.
Well,
Dave,
he's put all of his stuff now behind a paywall. All of it's behind a paywall now.
Right.
You guys are both
always has been.
him on Twitter too, right? Like me. Yeah, you guys are both.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All I said was in one of his replies, I wrote, "Gotta keep those AEW checks coming in, Dave." And boom, I was blocked right away.
That was it.
I said something similar. I said, "Are you going to continue to shill for this AEW nonsense the rest of your life?" Gone.
Done. So all I can say is F Dave Meltzer. I'm glad they're packing it in.
Bye, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got nowhere to go either because there's so much content now on wrestling that's being leaked by all these different places. Like, no one's going to pay you for that shit. It's everywhere.
But he's always wrong. He's always wrong.
He is now. He is always wrong now.
He has said, and here's an example today. There's a Stardom wrestler, and she's also the New Japan Strong Style Women's Champion. Her name is Julia.
Is she the one they were talking about is coming to NXT?
No, that was Saray.
Okay.
Saray is not coming to NXT. She got Bull Nakano has a promotion. You know who Bull Nakano is?
Yes.
She's got her own promotion called Sukuban in the United States. It's a Japanese promotion that operates out of the United States. Saray is coming to Sukuban instead of going to WWE. She used to be at NXT, and they wasted her in NXT. But anyway, Julia, the Stardom and performer and New Japan Pro Wrestling's Strong Style Women's Champion, her contract's up in January. She's supposedly starting with NXT, according to Dave Scherer and Mike Johnson from BW Insider. Meltzer came out today and said, no. Her contract ends in March. And as Christopher Stikelether just said, Mike Johnson, SRS, Sean Ross Sapp are the only ones he trusts. Sean Ross Sapp has said that her contract's up in January. She's starting with NXT. And I believe those guys over Dave Meltzer any day of the week.
I can't believe anything Sean Ross Sapp says. That guy's such a mark. I can't deal with that dude. Block from him as well. Not a fan of his. Putting over nonsense all the time. Anytime a quote unquote writer gets in the ring to wrestle, I'm out.
I think he's doing that this month, isn't he? Isn't he doing that this month?
Yeah, he's advertising the shit of it against a woman, so I'm out. Anyway, that's all I got tonight, boys. Y'all got anything else?
Nothing else for me, guys.
All we can say is, fellas, folks, whoever's watching right now and whoever will watch these videos, Motorhead, you want to do it? Give us a what?
Yeah, please please subscribe. Check us out on Twitter at Johnny Bottles, at Don Wayne Bust a Move, at Motorhead711. Comment, and hey, we'd like to have you aboard. We're gaining more ground slowly but surely, and we appreciate everybody for watching and tuning in.
That's it. And all I can say now is blow me Chris Jericho.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.